Welcome one, welcome all, welcome. Another exciting episode of A Rising Sun. Sorry we're a little late on YouTube. I actually thought I had clicked the go live button until Peter Griffin popped into the chat to remind me and say, hey, nothing here, what's going on? So, let's take a look at our situation. It's 1939. We're a little late, and our numbers don't look good. I don't like the numbers. Specifically, I don't like that we're down on infantry equipment and really down on support equipment. Here's the good news. I've shuffled around some numbers, and I've taken some factories out of truck production. I'm going to take one more out of truck production. Taken some factories out of truck production, shifted them to rifles, infantry equipment, and support equipment. And I've also freed up some support equipment by removing the field hospital from my defense divisions. They absolutely don't need a field hospital. Don't need it. Their job is to just sit on the islands and defend, and or the border with Russia. So that's freed up about 175 support equipment. Not nearly enough. I'm just going to let this tick over for a second, because we don't have any offensives currently going. But these guys are suffering attrition. How come? Oh, that's their guys, not mine. Okay. No, it shows it's my guys. Oh, it's one of the, Manchukuo? There they are. They're moving through, mountainous terrain. I see. So, supply-wise, we're doing okay. And the problem isn't the ports anymore. Incoming is only 49 because of local infrastructure. I think that's right. Local infrastructure here is pretty damaged in Beijing. It's slowly being repaired. I'd repair it faster if we had an issue with it right now. But right now, it's fine. We'll get another level every month and a half or so, looks like. I did assign some construction to it earlier on, and we repaired 2 fairly quickly, but we'll keep repairing more as we need to. Anyway, so back to the situation at hand. So my numbers don't look great for reserves here. My numbers in the field are okay. You've got the occasional unit here that's missing a bunch of support and infantry equipment. It's not full. It's not at 100%. So its stats are a little bit weaker in all areas. But their numbers look worse. Look at this. They're at half equipment. That suggests to me that they have rushed out a bunch of divisions only partly trained because they could not deal with the situation. So that is pretty good. Why would you walk there instead of just using strategic move? So as expected, the trade situation resolved itself while we were, while we let it tick over. All right, we got a civilian factory back. So construction, I still want like a full line of civilian factories going pretty much all the time, because again, as you get more military factories, A, I have to trade away more civilian factories to get stuff, and B, I lose civilian factories to consumer goods, so I have to constantly get more in order to keep 3 or 4 lines going. And I don't have enough dockyards, and I don't have enough military factories, so I can't afford to lose civilian factories to consumer goods. So I pretty much got to be building them all the time. Now, I recognize that I've got some strategic reserves I didn't really consider yesterday. I've got the 6 divisions here that I've been assigning to the Island Defense Army. I started building those very early in the hopes that I'd have enough for when the Pacific War broke out. But I've also got the 10 that were given to me by my puppets. And they're not great, but they can maybe hold a line a little bit in order to allow the main forces to push in and maybe get some encirclements. Now, before we ended yesterday, we've got a few encirclements planned. They're not huge. We might get 7 to 10 divisions in them. This one might be a little bit bigger because it's got a bigger bump there. So we've got our mechanized forces planning to attack from these two directions. Speaking of which, where are they? Oh, they're moving right now to get to the positions they need to get to. So let's allow them to get there, do their planning. So the mechanized divisions are going to try to make an attack here, and our elite marines are going to make the attacks here, along with everybody else, probably. And I don't know why we've got the border gore going on here. Our goal is to get China down to 50% capitulation. I believe if they get to 50%, that's when they offer a ceasefire. And then we'll get control of the entire coastline when that happens. That is what the mod is supposed to do, from my understanding. Oh, we've got a tiny supply problem here. Very tiny supply problem here. It would be nice if we could push out and claim a little bit more of this supply region. I want more states. If I can take some more states, then I'll claim more resources from them, and specifically this one would be great, so we could get control of that steel. That would help us a bit. We're currently importing a bunch of steel from Sweden, so if we could, you know, even free up a couple factories, that would be good. Okay, right now, actually, we've got our air units. Oh, wrong one. Air units. Oh, we've got an airport here we can put our fighters in. Bring them closer to the front line. And we can actually fit both of our tacticals in there, too. I was thinking we might have to construct some airfields, but they are plenty close. This one here's still pretty close for the area that we're in there. And we'll leave them like that so that they can support as well. But right now we're just going to have them cancel their current mission so that we save some fuel. Once the once everybody's had time to get their planning up to 100%, which for us is pretty high, 67%, then we'll trigger everything to launch at the same time. That's probably going to be late August. We'll get some more encirclements. Meanwhile, our fuel is improving, our fuel stores, and our equipment reserves are slowly getting better. Tactical bombers are a little bit behind. I mean, there's only so much we can do. We're getting a new tactical bomber, 1 per week. I don't think we're losing that many, but we just, you know, we threw them into combat and demanded that we have more. So I think what I'd like to do, I have a lot of research slots, and I don't have a lot to do at this particular moment. So I think what I'm going to do for the next research slot is just get ahead of time on construction. It'll be really far ahead of time, but then I can also get ahead of time on extraction, and that will give me the option to maybe exploit some new resources. So we did heavy industry development for our puppet. We can now do light industry development to give them some more factories. This is for Manchukuo? Not Meng, but Man, I believe, is what this is affecting here. Yeah. Liaoning is the one that is inside here. This one right there. We'll get a bunch more stuff. Right now, they've got very few factories overall. Like 18 factories. I just gave them 4 of those. I'm about to give them 4 more military factories. It'll be like a freaking miracle. Are they at... They're at early mobilization. They haven't even tipped over for some reason. To war economy. We're short of steel again. Jesus. I must have got a new factory. The collapse of the Popular Front in France. French policies become helpless. Just in time. The French tree is insane in this mod. And so is the German one, to be honest. This one's not even that crazy. Take a look at the German tree. There's so many. And then it keeps going. Over here we have the Luftwaffe and the Kriegsmarine. Oh, Molotov-Ribbentrop has been signed. Alright, let's take a quick look and see where we stand. We're at 18th of August. Planning. These guys are going to need another 10 days, a little more. So yeah, 28th of August, we'll start looking at potentially going here. What I'd like to also do is research battleships, the 1940 hull, while I've got this particular designer on hand, the Battle Fleet designer, that improves the capital ship armor and heavy attack. Would be nice to get one of these. Just increase the speed of naval research, but man, I mean, they added a whole nother line of research companies you can have here. This is for research, this is for designers. This increases research speed, generally speaking. This one happens to reduce our consumer goods factories, but... So this is weekly stability down by 10. I haven't noticed it affecting us, because we started with such a high stability, apparently. We'll just have to keep an eye on that and offset it at some point. Now, we've got 431 air experience. We could do some designs here. And army experience, too. I never know. Wow, our army experience is insane. We could probably improve our light tank designs. And also speed up the rate at which we're doing our doctrines. But let's take a look at light tank designs. Are we going to be researching a new light tank anytime soon? Yeah, that's going to be on the docket. And so when it comes off the... we will utilize it and pay to improve the design quite a bit. Our naval experience is still really low because we haven't really done much except patrol with our subs. Alright, so we are at the 27th. I know there's not enough manpower for garrisons, or equipment for garrisons, rather. Alright, support equipment is now only at minus 1,000. We've dug ourselves 500 out of that hole, and we've dug ourselves about 1,000 out of the infantry equipment hole. So this is going to go, what did I say? I said battleships and or construction. Let's hold off on construction. Let's get... I started doctrine, right? Yes, I did start doctrine once I got the infantry radios. We've got a 100% ahead of time bonus. Let's use it to get better light tanks. We've also got the ability to build medium tanks. I'm just not sure I want to, because most of the time the tanks are going to be operating in crappy terrain. We're in the area. We've already conquered most of the area that medium tanks are good for conquering, is the thing. So our pack artillery is going to get upgraded here. You know what we haven't actually taken a look at is the... we've unlocked the Yamato Super Heavy Battleship class. I want to compare that. Now what is it? Oh, this is... lacks one or more required modules. That's weird. What does it think it's lacking? If I went ahead and changed it... I guess it just doesn't allow you to make any changes to this particular... They've locked it in, basically. So you can only build... And you can't even build it, right? I can't click to build it. So they added it. We've got two of them. We've got the Yamato class. Does it say what the name of this one is? No. One of them's going to be the Yamato. One's going to be the sister ship. I don't remember what the name is. But anyway. Surprisingly, it's going to be done in 1940. Well, because it started partially built for us. They give a focus that lets you pop that into existence, basically. And its speed is only 21 knots, so I'll have to make a super slow task force that is built around the Yamato class, and then I'll have to make a faster battlecruiser class that intercepts the enemy, slows them down so that the Yamatos can catch up and lay the big guns down. Interesting. Okay. And we've got the super heavy battleship hull. I don't think we'll ever use it now that we've got these two Yamatos coming out. I don't think you want to even mess around with that. Alright, we've got the 150. I was thinking about doing something in here, but what was it? I could get another operative. I don't want to change the battle fleet designer, not yet. I'm doing tank research now. I could make the tank research go faster, or I just did artillery research, material research, motorized research. You know, that's not terrible. We haven't done any motorized research. But it's about time that we did. And yet we've also got these other guys we gotta put in here. Naval air defense, we can't do that yet, but I think I'm gonna want that eventually. I do like Army Logistics Expert. For now, that seems like a really valuable tool. Because our equipment is our problem. Division belongs to an army but has no orders assigned. I guess you guys are all here then. Alright. So yeah, let's check the planning now. Are these guys all ready? These guys do look ready. I've got a couple super battle-hardened guys that are level 8 experience. I like this experience curve better too. I really like what this mod does with a lot of the stuff. It feels much better than vanilla. Anyway, let's get the air operating. Providing air superiority and... Actually, you know what? These guys we should have 1 and 1 operating in Beijing's air suite, because at least some of those battles are going to take place there. Then we're going to activate our friends here, which seem to have strong advantage. Our Marines are going to be activated. They don't think they have a good chance, but we're going to back them up with the infantry that are nearby. So if we pause for a second and have these guys join the battle, and then we can do the same thing over here, have them support that battle, it'll significantly increase their odds of success. Now, in these areas, the enemy has 600 fighters. I don't know if they're getting Lend-Lease or if they're just building them, but that seems like a lot. The good news is... Oh, there's the Poland declaration. September 2nd. That's a little early, isn't it, Germany? But it's pretty much right on cue. So we're doing damage done to the enemy divisions down here. Air superiority looks like nobody's getting any victories or defeats in that. At least not yet. It only just started. Alright. These are looking good. And down here, these are looking good. Yeah, the enemy does not have enough equipment for this. And they're just taking more losses on the equipment. So what seemed like an impossible task not too long ago has wound up being better and better as we've taken more of their territory and probably more of their factories away. And we've been grinding them down, and we've reduced the penalty that the Marco Polo Bridge incident gave against us. We're at a 9 or 99 army experience, unfortunately, but we'll spend most of that here. And we'll also spend some of it on this infantry offensive, so I'm not going to worry about dealing with it now. Alright, so the Marines have broken through where they needed to. There's now only one more territory to get in order to encircle these guys up here. Oh, these guys have already done the deed. Basically in the south. Yep, it's pretty much done. We just need to get here. Or maybe we already have encircled them. What I'd like now is to have some of these attacks happen. To keep these guys all pinned so they can't escape. Okay, so that encirclement worked pretty well. And now these guys can all go attack here. So how many divisions does China have? We don't know. We don't rightly know, but it's somewhere between 127 and 178. We have 115, but ours appear to be much, much better equipped. Definitively closing the noose there. I mean, look, there's nobody on this front now. I mean, we just have the opportunity to claim so much territory if we had the ability to do so. These guys don't actually have a plan, but I'm going to give them a plan right now. I should have had them ready with a plan. I'm guessing that this might eventually come loose up here. If these guys try to attack, what's their odds here? They call it risky. I don't want to try it. Let's not risk the extra resources. Just do a couple of manual choices here. Alright, submarine operations is done. Let's use that to get the battleship while we still have the design company set up the way that we want to, and then we'll switch over the design company to something else when we research cruisers and when we research destroyers. Hello, Robert Roberts. No, this is not Black Ice. This is Hearts of Oak, which I have only discovered recently, but it's being developed on a fairly regular basis, and I like a lot of the changes that it makes. I went over most of the differences in the first part of the first video of this series, if you want to go check that out. No, I didn't forget the Mountaineers. They're being developed right here. 56 days. I figure we won't get them until we start our Burma campaign, but when we do start the Burma campaign, they will be very valuable. Even if it's only 1 or 2 divisions, that can make a difference. I do want 1 more Marine division at least. Alright, now the lines are looking awful right now. Don't know why we have this set up this way. Let's see if we can't fix it. Right now, we'll put these guys defending this weird line. And to be honest, they can kind of expand it and make it look nicer if they want. Alright, so we took care of that group in the north. We haven't actually looked at the war statistics in a bit. Damn, 2 million in losses. We've lost 165,000. How close is that to the real war losses? Because that's insane. I think, though, that the actual losses were insane. And we've got a new option available. This does not, excuse me, does not do much for me. It adds some building slots to these areas, so I'm going to ignore that for now. We were talking about getting second modernization, but we need 199 military factories to get it. When we do, man, it's good. It's real good. I think we want to get, we really did want to get to convoy escort focus, because it'll speed up the time at which we get destroyers spit out. But I also want the agility focus so that I can research my air units at a very good clip. So these divisions are holding out here, but it's only a matter of time before that's taken care of. Alright, so the Marines can probably help hold a slightly larger area. can't I move this? Oh, there we go. Look at that fuel consumption. It's going way down, way up, rather. Support equipment continues to be spit out at a decent clip. I think we finally corrected that problem. We might actually be a little overcorrecting it. 25 might be too much. Let's tip the balance back over to infantry equipment. We're short a little bit on rubber, but that's okay. We're going to finish the final military factory in Kanto. They have 24 divisions. Some of them are still fighting up there, though. The second Vienna Award is occurring. We'll have to monitor the progress of that. And, come on. Come on, finish them off. Now, there is an interesting thing the way that this mod works is, and I don't know if this was the plan that Japan historically was going through, because most of the things in this mod are trying to avoid any ahistorical stuff, but the idea is the Marco Polo Bridge incident was not planned by the Japanese High Command. It was planned by some lower level officers, so the Japanese High Command was not ready for a war in China at the time that it broke out. And the way this mod works is when it breaks out, you get this horrible Marco Polo Bridge incident spirit, which reduces your attack against China by 40% and your defense against China by 20% because of the lack of preparedness. But you can lower that penalty by capturing this chunk of China. At that point, you'll have been able to prepare at least enough to take on more of China. And if you can do that, and still, it lowered it to 20 for me, 20% penalty and a 10% for defense. And if you can then get 50% of China in terms of their victory points, you can get them to capitulate. They won't capitulate. There will be a ceasefire built in as an event that fires that gives Japan the coastline and causes a ceasefire with China. That didn't happen historically as far as I know, but that may have been one of the plans that Japan wanted to have happen. Because they also give you this button, prepare to win a total victory, which I believe if you press this, it means that it's going to cancel the ability for that ceasefire event to actually kick off. But it gets rid of the Marco Polo Bridge incident, so you get your full weight against China. That's the historical option that was chosen, I guess. We're going for one of the planned historical options that didn't pan out. This mod doesn't even really let you go to war with the Soviets, not even as an alternate option. There we go. Okay, they've been overrun. Excellent. Now, let's see if we can't readjust these lines a little bit here. Now that things are so sparse, I think I might make some plans over here. If we can get to this river, that would be great. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but I think we're going to try. So we're going to start planning for a large offensive across the entire broad front. The reason I think... nope, we don't want to do that. The reason I think that we can do that is because, as you can see, they don't have the forces. In fact... I mean, they've got another bunch that we can wrap up right here. We've advanced so far. But I don't think we can punch from this direction. These guys actually have some equipment. So here's what I'd like to do. Marines, reposition. We'll also pull this to here. Let's get this to happen. For our mechanized forces are going to punch a big hole this way, and that way, when these guys come up, it'll be better. In fact, we're going to give them a more specific goal. Okay. Let's get the planning done and execute it. Speeding it up just a little bit. Let's get our air units to halt for the moment. Oops. These guys didn't halt. There we go. Improved infantry radios. So our HQ divisions just got a lot more in the way. Oh, good. Cold acclimatization gain factor. That's nice. Recovery rate going up. That's also good. Insufficient resources. Steel. We keep getting those factories. And we keep having issues with steel production. Now, did we actually capture the steel location? We did. Do we have control of the state? Not yet. Very soon we'll be able to take advantage of this. Infrastructure damage means it's not going to output as much as we might want. Now, where are we? Aha! We can get some oil added. Ooh, 21 oil. That's a lot. So we can add, I think there's 4 up here right now. We can add another 21. Maybe there's 5 up there. It's going to cost us 5 civilian factories, but it's absolutely worth it. We could also get some aluminum. Tungsten isn't needed at the moment. I don't think. We're not trading for tungsten. Yeah, we have extra tungsten. Aluminum we are trading for from Yugoslavia. Vehicle radios increases breakthrough and defense and gives us options to get tank radios, which increases their breakthrough and defense. I don't think our breakthrough and defense is a problem. I think it's really our soft attack and hard attack. So I think I want artillery radios right now. Assuming that I have enough radio equipment, which I still do. It looks like, even though we're parceling out more and more equipment. Oh, these guys are in trouble from this, huh? Local infrastructure is a problem. Because it's all been damaged and we don't have control of it. But we'll fix that very soon. You're not going to have a lot of time to plan over here. These guys already got a lot of planning done that are on this border. I'm going to give these guys, like, another 4 days to plan this. Oh, we've got outdated equipment in production. Aha! We've got a new type of tactical bomber. We can use some of this experience to maybe improve their bombing. So their ground attack went up by a little bit. Better than nothing. There it is, Model 2. Ooh, Poland capitulated. Yeah, that's that's right on the timeline, I think. So it seems like this mod's goal is to give you a realistic-ish World War II experience where everybody else does what they did historically, and you can try to change, you know, what if I was in charge of the Soviet Union when these things went down? The problem with that, of course, is that you get to all this benefit from hindsight. So the mod also attempts to reduce your ability to benefit from hindsight. For example, the Marco Polo Bridge incident spirit is trying to represent the fact that the Japanese High Command was not ready for this war in China. Even if you, the player, are, the game simulates that. Peter Griffin says, I wish there was a mechanic where you could have your generals come with different plans for an operation, then you could approve one. Yeah, that would be great, but unfortunately AIs are not that complicated yet. So we're still, okay, infantry equipment still going up, even though we have been draining through this fight. We're still getting more infantry equipment, so we're digging ourselves out of this hole. Armored car units are actually getting a little low. I'm going to increase that by 1 the next time we get a factory. I hate when these flash, even though... Yeah, okay. Now it'll stop flashing because I put that... Yeah, okay. Alright, so we're going to give them another couple of days here. USSR occupies Eastern Poland, a likely story. That looks right now. I was going to say, before when I was looking at that, I'm like, something about this looks wrong. This border with Poland looks weird. And then, oh yeah, well, Soviets had to occupy a portion of it, that's why. I've seen that border so many damn times because there are so many games for whom... Hang on. Do I not have orders for this? I guess I don't. Let's put them here. I now kind of have a strategic reserve. These 16 can attempt to do this. Alright, back to this anyway. They're still not even close to being done. Okay, that's right. I'm giving them a couple more days to plan. Not too many. We don't need it. More concessions have been forced in the Kingdom of Romania, with legionnaires Bulgaria reclaiming southern Dobruja. Alright. 8 o'clock. This seems like the right time. These guys are now properly prepared. Go and go. Let's get ourselves another encirclement. Oh, this one in the south not working nearly as good. You know what? We could try to re-establish the Marines to the other side here. We don't actually have a punching force on this side. There we go. Wish we could afford to build rubber factories. That would be nice. Let's get those bauxite deposits that we talked about earlier. Infantry offensive. Oh, good. So now we can get central planning, max planning of plus 10%. That's really good. We're going to spend the 100 to speed it up. Since we've got the 100 available, we might as well. Oh, you know, we need to actually get our air forces on the job here. One set of these fighters is going to have to help here. We're now getting to the point where there's no good air bases for what we're trying to do. Hey, we decrypted the cipher for the United States. I thought we were doing China. Oh, we were doing them both at the same time. That's what it was slowing down from. Well, it's good to have that United States cipher anyway. Oh boy, that's going to be a decent-sized encirclement there. Can't see quite how many they've got, but it's going to be good. So if they keep what they've got strength-wise along this border, we can just keep expanding in the south because they don't have much to stop us here. They're going to have to reposition those guys. Actually, I only need one of you to walk over there. But if you can do it, we've got them encircled. Alright, so we are going to agility focus. That's what we've been trying to do because we want the design company Mitsubishi available to build our fighters. So we're going to need to save up 150 to get Mitsubishi on the fighters. Jesus, look how fast that organization drains. It's insane. And there we go. That should take care of that pocket. 25 divisions. It's a good number. And in the north, they're still planning. These guys are ready to go. Resistance is growing in Shanghai, and there's basically nothing we can do about it except just let the compliance keep growing. Hey, we have free military factories. Amazing. Let's get 2 more on infantry equipment. And then let's look at the numbers here again. Artillery is okay. Pack artillery, arguably too much, but it's okay. Radio equipment's still good. Special equipment, that's our special forces. That's okay. Horse and field equipment was low before. Let's give them 1 more factory. Transport vehicles, plenty. Support equipment is replenishing. Light tanks doing okay. Air power, I think that's where we need some benefits here. We don't have that many naval bombers. We need more of them, because I want them on every damned island in the Pacific. And we're also going to need fighters. So let's bump that up next. Close air support 1 per week is also just not enough. So yeah, let's pretty massively increase our capabilities here, here, and here. Alright, so we've got that well planned out, I think. We don't want to get that stupid artillery designer. Although in retrospect, I definitely should have done one of these when I was doing that. Oh, I can do motorized equipment designer when I'm going to upgrade my motorized guys. And my armored cars. Which I think I might need to do soon. We already did armored cars for 38. Next armored car is actually 41. We didn't have the artillery designer. That was a big mistake. But, you know, you only have so much political power. There's only so much you can do. Alright, so we took another big chunk there. Only 2% increase towards capitulation, because we haven't taken any big cities, because there are no damn big cities. Look, there are 5 points here. 3 points there. I guess Hubei. Okay, Wuhan. That's a big one. If we can get that, that'd be great. Where's my Marines? They can help. Alright, we're pretty much caught up here. We can get some extra breakthrough on our infantry. Short on resources again. Man, that keeps happening. Okay. We're good on that, actually. Bauxite deposits have been dealt with. We're currently developing 2 different things over here. Still, the big prize is down in the South China here. What is there? Roughly 60, 80, about 100 steel in the south, a bunch of chromium, and a huge amount of tungsten. We already have a good amount of tungsten, but if we ever needed more, it's down there. And the steel is the big thing. We are importing a big chunk of steel right now. So we're importing 80 steel and 48 rubber and 40 fuel. So the steel is definitely huge. If we could recapture the 10 factories that we have importing steel, that would be a great thing. Alright, we're going to get this city. We gained control of another state, so I think our... Oh, man, no. Previous bottleneck, infrastructure in Jiangsu. It's actually damaged is the problem. Shanghai and Jiangsu. Shanghai's actually got damaged infrastructure too. Okay, so it's not... I don't actually have to build these two. I just have to repair the existing infrastructure, which is pretty fast. So let's repair Shanghai and Jiangsu as the highest priority. That'll be done in a week or so with the factories working on it. And that should fix this problem pretty significantly. Alright, did we get control of the state by grabbing Wuhan? We did. Hubei had a huge chunk of their factories. Yeah, that was very good. It had more than, like, Beijing. Beijing had almost nothing in comparison. Which makes sense. Why would you build factories close to the enemy? But the planning on this one is good. We lost some more infantry equipment over the course of that fight. Ah! There it is. We didn't even need 50%. Oh, we did. Getting Wuhan was 50%. Okay. Despite our successes, we are unable to deal the final blow to the Chinese. This economic situation back home is reaching critical points. If we don't stop the fight now, the country would suffer immensely. We've decided to propose a ceasefire to the Chinese. When the time is right, we'll finish them off. So let's take a look at these options. This costs us political power, consumer goods factories, stability, and war support. We become the owner and controller of all of the coastline areas which have the valuable things. We even get Hubei, the one that we just took, the Wuhan one, I think. Yeah, we get Hubei as well. And Qingdao. We don't get Guangdong or Jiangsu, huh? It still might be a good time for us to sort of lick our wounds and build up our reserves so that we are ready for the big fight with the West. The other thing is, these down here require reignite war with China. This is probably bypassed if China has capitulated. Well, this is the path we were trying to go down. It actually looks like we were in a position to continue pushing, so maybe we should have done the prepare to win a total victory sooner, because that would have avoided this, but this is still a good thing to go with. Let's do it. Oh, okay. So we took all those areas. Oh, so the ceasefire, we take control of all the states that we had control of at the moment of the ceasefire. I think that's the case. So if we had taken more of the South, maybe we would have gotten more of it. Either way, let's get our armies out of their areas where they're getting hurt by bad supply. So we'll take each army and kind of just bring it to a different supply area. This will, I mean, the main advantage here is it'll give us time to build enough divisions to actually conquer China. Because right now we don't have enough divisions to do it. We just can't spread a front that wide. Actually, you guys were okay where you were, I think. You can stay on this border. These guys were probably okay being in the south. Gonna bring these guys back to here. These guys too. Let's see. I think that's everybody. Exile divisions, yes and no. Okay, so now we can actually ramp up production of our extra forces, including maybe at least one more mechanized. No, we have them training, don't we? Yeah, the Mechanized division is in training, and not only that, it's actually done. These guys we're just going to take off training for a little bit. And I'm going to speed up the production of defense divisions now that we'll have the resources to do so, because war with the West is pseudo-inevitable. So, when do we get to reignite the war in China? Whenever we want? Really? As long as Germany's at war with the United Kingdom, we can attack them again. Okay, we can get a non-aggression pact with the Soviet Union. That will certainly help too. Alright, so we've got the... we only have a very small amount of resources here, huh? And local compliance is 0, and the infrastructure is massively damaged. So we need Anhui to also go to the top of the infrastructure fix list. And maybe the infrastructure build list? And we don't need to worry about Jiangsu or Shanghai anymore, because we're not worried. Those will just repair themselves. Supply-wise, we're okay there. Looks like we can actually get some more Shandong. Potentially. Agility focus is finally done. So, we don't need... Oh, we can... Unified Fighter Development will actually reduce our duplicate research effort spirit, which is also good. We've almost finished with heavy ship hull. So when that's done, we'll save up this and we'll flip over to... let's see, we got to figure out what we're going to do for our cruisers and our destroyers. The thing about cruisers that's weird is they are both heavy and light. They can be capital ships and screens. So if I use the battle fleet designer when I was researching cruisers, the light cruisers would gain the screen benefit, and the heavy cruisers would gain the capital ship benefit. But to be honest, I think I'd rather have them set up as the escort fleet designer. Oh, but you know what? Before I switch over to this, I also need I need to research new carriers. That needs to come next. Alright, so the good news is our infantry equipment is going to be done in 162 days. Support equipment is now 22 days. Tactical bombers, wow, tactical bombers are definitely in need of more production. We're going to do the construction 1 year ahead of time. I'll take the penalty. No, I won't take the penalty, not yet. We could do one of these, focusing on quantity or quality with our divisions. It'll lower their combat capabilities, but the cost in the amount of equipment each individual company needs would go down. And then we can keep doing that. That might be necessary, to be honest. Because we're just going to need to have troops everywhere. Let's do it. At least one time. Maybe we don't go really far down that tree so we don't compromise our quality too much. Ooh. Amphibious tanks would be nice for our Marines. But we can't really afford to do that. But now that we've got a Mountaineer division, and actually, we could do pack artillery, and pack artillery. Or maybe, you know what? If we're planning this to be a force that has to deal with the British in Burma, do we want to get anti-tank battalion in there? No, I don't think so. Maybe an anti-air battalion, though. Yeah. And then over here, we'll give them a division HQ, and we'll give them an anti-tank company, just so that they're not completely useless against tanks. And then, because they're specialists, we want them to have a field hospital, because they're going to be stuck in Burma. We need them to have a logistics company. Supply use is actually really high, so maybe a motorized logistics company to lower it a little bit more. And then they're going to need a recon company. We could give them light tank recon, which will give them 18 armor. Yeah, I want that. I don't know how many of these we can make, but a couple's better than none. Looks like we make 3. So let's make 2 of these and 1 more Marine. Oh, okay. Actually, we can make 3 and 1 more Marine. And we might be able to add more as our special forces numbers allow. So that just tanked our infantry equipment because we added a bunch more guys to it. But that's all well and good. We'll continue to try to improve our production. Oh, we just gained a new light tank design, huh? So let's go ahead and swap it out. Oh, I don't need to show outdated equipment. Light tank 3. Let's upgrade it. They only let you upgrade it 2 times, it looks like. And so as a result, I think what I'd like to do is choose Motorized Equipment Designer and get the new Mechanized forces available. Roberts, no, this is Hearts of Oak is the name of the mod. I went over all the, well, most of the details in the first episode of this series, if you want to go check that out. So we have the China Cipher for when we need to go back to war with China. What are our operations intelligence officials doing here? We've got that one set up, and this guy isn't. This guy's not doing anything. I guess that one. We'll reignite the war with China in probably 1940. And by then, I'm hoping to have these all filled out. So we've got 2 of those. So we only need 4 more light infantry divisions in order to fill out these 2. And that's what we're doing here. And then for main infantry divisions, we're adding an extra 16. We don't need an extra 16. That seems like too many. That would be 32. No, 2 by 4 is 8. Duh. So that's correct. Alright, so we're also going to get all or nothing armor scheme, I think. Oh no, we wanted to do carriers. Yeah, while we still have this design company in charge, we want carriers. So what's the situation with the non-aggression pact here? Cannot be revoked before the 18th of November 1940. Now, apparently we can break that with the national focus. So the infrastructure damage has been repaired. Now, the state modifier, we might want to change from civilian oversight to the resource exploitation one. Local resources plus 40. So let's do that and see how that affects it. Yeah, we get a little bit more steel that way. Now, do they still gain compliance? As long as they still gain some. Oh god, it's gaining very, very slowly. But the good news is the resistance target's very low anyway. So I don't really care too much about compliance as long as the resistance is low. This one has a bunch of factories in it. I'm just going to leave that on the default to let the compliance gain go up. So I wonder about how we tackle finishing off China. It looks like we're in a wonderful position to punch north here and just try to do a massive envelopment here. I'm not sure we have the divisions to do that, but we could try. Especially because we could just spread ourselves really thin along this border. Even if they make some headway into these areas... Uh-oh. We must mount a rescue operation is right. I'm going to start building more of these so that we can get extra operatives. Where's a rescue operation? Prepare. Use the only other one we've got. And commence when ready. Oh, we need to actually build some Flak Cannons, don't we? We don't actually have those in production. And when we go to war with the British and everything, we're going to have to get more of these. So we're going to put them up here, and we're going to get at least 7 factories on them as they become available. And what else do we not have in production? Anti-tank, I think. This is a good time to start producing those. Let's just do 5 and 5. Let them get built up first. All right, so 38 and 66 being taken away, huh? So 11.15. We need a lot more infantry equipment, like an actual lot more. One more factory is going to have to do it, though, because these other ones are going to need to start production soon. All right, and we are getting military factories as fast as we can now. We're going to do even better. And you know, when this other one finishes, it'll probably send a bunch of equipment back to our supplies because they won't need as much in the designs. I'm going to try to pay attention to make sure that works the way I think it works. Fix the amount of divisions I'm training so it's not unlimited. I want unlimited defense divisions. You're right, Mountaineers should probably not be unlimited, and neither should the SNLF. Unassigned divisions. This is our strategic reserve. Right now, it's set to kind of defend us against the Soviet Union, and it's made up entirely of divisions given to us by our puppet. But, you know, all right, 158, here we go. Let's get a motorized equipment designer so that when we start producing mechanized divisions, or mechanized battalions, they will be even better. That's going to come next on the list. Every one of these is done soonest. Central planning. We'll start there. Really should be researching more naval doctrines too. Waiting on that is going to be problematic. Man, I thought I'd get a bunch of steel from this, and it turns out, yes, I got a bunch of steel, but not easily. France and Britain have announced an alliance. Well, that's a little late, but it's better late than never. Now, okay, so then France finally has joined the war against Germany, is what the result of that is. So yeah, we're aiming for a May 1940 to finally destroy China so that when we go to war with the West, we will not... I mean, there's no reason to go to war with the United States in 1941 if we don't have to. The reason they did in 1941 is because of the embargo that crippled their economy. We're trying to prepare for that. We've got huge reserves of fuel. We've been importing a bunch. Hell, I'll build another fuel silo somewhere. We'll probably chill on the civilian factories for a little bit. No national focus set. Jet prototypes. I've never been a fan of going with jets. So warrior spirits is good. Modernization of the infantry gives us... Oh, mechanized models get a research bonus. So yes, we're about to research that. Very soon, in fact. We'll use artillery radios slot for that one. So this is effect scaled by 90% due to garrison fulfillment. Oh! We would get a little bit more. So we're at 36 instead of 40% boost. Because we're not fulfilling our garrisons just yet. Once our infantry equipment is finally taken care of. I think our support equipment is also good here. So we're going to do that. We're going to do one more thing in here. And maybe that's just increasing our own cryptology level. I don't want the Americans to keep breaking our codes over and over again, and they probably will. We should probably try getting... Oh! Hang on. China's encryption... I thought we had an encryptor for China. We got the United States one. But it looks like China has upped their encryption game. Huh. Okay, well we might need to improve our cryptology department too. Where are our naval dockyards at? Okay, we're finally almost going to have some extras, and that's with many of our destroyers not being put out at full speed. We can only produce 6 per year of this destroyer model. 12 per year of this one, I'm guessing. Yeah. And only 6 per year of this model. And this is a cruiser. Light cruiser, not going at full speed. We only get 2 of those per year. Ugh. I would like more than that. I don't even have all the designs I want here. Not even close. I need so many more naval dockyards. Alright, we've rescued the captured officer. Good job. Now, I guess we'll need to create some more intel networks here. See what options we can do. Oh, our submarines can stop patrolling. Go back to port. We're not at war anymore. So our fuel is full, which means we can actually stop importing all oil from Venezuela, free up 5 factories. Yeah, we need that built ASAP so we can get an extra, what, 450 extra fuel capacity. Alright, do we go here? Yeah, look at this. Let's see. Breakthrough is improved across the board and supply consumption is reduced. I do like that a lot. And then this one, land night attack, is improved. Oh, there's the Winter War kicking off. So what do we need to do this? We need to control Shanxi, Sichuan, Qinghai, and Nanning. Well, we're not getting those anytime soon. So I think what we need to do is get down to convoy escort focus so that we can take advantage of those reduced costs for destroyers. And modernizing the fleet allows us to refit ships, which we unfortunately already did. We also want these options, because this unlocks a bunch of different people for our research and chief of whatever. Expand the naval infantry branch, increases marine technology, transport. There's a lot of good stuff over here. Oh, we need to go back to training these guys. We'll send these two here. Artillery radios has been completed, and we were waiting on what to complete. We finished something over here. Oh, we were going to do the motorization tech, mechanized tech, which is right here. So what that means is we can massively reduce the amount of infantry trucks we're producing and switch them all over to mechanized completely. Because we will have so many trucks in reserve when we put them back. Alright. Government Cipher School. That increased at our decryption level. Let's increase our code breaking level too. So we can recruit another... That's good. So where do we send the linguist? Send them to the United States? Hope that they complete an operation there and... do something good. We'll try to infiltrate their civilian administration and stuff. We've already infiltrated the civilian administration of China, but not communist China. Dang. These take a long time unless we spend some research, huh? Or some naval doctrine, I should say. We do have fuel to spare. I think we should train our navy. Specifically, our Alpha Battle Force is fairly well trained. But we've got a bunch of brand new destroyers in there, so I want them to train. Actually, it's not even draining all of our... Really? Okay. Well, Bravo Battle Force can train too. Charlie is just kind of meh. But maybe they should train too, just in case. Not for long. We'll stop their training soon enough. And all these destroyers, they're at least at regular. We don't need to train the destroyers. These are our mine layers. They definitely don't need to train. Unassigned divisions. Oh, good. More strategic reserves. Alright, so we'll let that go for a month or so. And then we'll maybe slow down the training on Charlie Force. Because they're all pretty well trained. There's only a few here that aren't. But also it'll give us a bunch of Navy experience that we might need. Yeah, anti-tank is going to be necessary against the Brits eventually. I keep hoping the infantry equipment deficit will go down. We'll add one more factory to it and wait for results. Because it says 277 days. Jesus, that's too much. Because if we're at war, we can't wait on that. You know, another possibility, and maybe a better possibility, than an attack into Shanxi would be an attack into southern China, Guangdong, and then striking north and south at the same time to cut off as many forces as we can in eastern China. This is where a lot of their resources are here. So, oh, that's right. The problem was there was no damn ports over here. There's a single port here with one strength. So it's like, yeah, we can invade it and then spend forever building it up. There goes Leon Trotsky. Sorry, buddy. Oh, we've got an open slot. To research what? I kind of want to research... this, but I don't think I'll have the production to make it happen. I could maybe research the armored car variant. It's a little ways ahead of time, though. These are all 1942. I still haven't gotten Maintenance Company 2. We should get that. Just make sure we stay up to date on most things. That's another thing I like about this mod, is whatever they did to tune the number of slots and the research speed, I never feel like I'm falling so far behind of history. Like, in vanilla, you can never keep up. Like, even if you do 0 things ahead of time, you can never keep up with every tab progressing along as history. Not even as the United States or Britain or Germany. And yeah, I get you're not going to do all of them. You know, as Germany, you're not going to research every single type of naval thing. Maybe you're going to be a little bit further ahead on submarine designs. But you can't even come close to keeping up. And I like to at least come close to being able to keep up, like I am right now. I don't have everything 100% at 1940, but it's nice that I can come close. I'm a little bit behind in my electronics, because I've chose to be. But it's like, if there's one tab you can choose to be behind by and everything else is about right, that's fine. And then if you want to be ahead of time in something, then you're going to be behind in more places. I'm okay with that too. All right, we got the 150. We can change something. We're researching carriers, so we can't change anything just yet. So let's wait until carriers are done, and then we'll change to the screen for choosing cruisers. Although that increases their maximum production cost. I don't think I want that. I might want Pacific Fleet Designer from my screen. Max range, 25%. That's almost as good. Yeah, I think I want this. Oh, but I can't. Ooh. Oh, this is a good call. Oh, well, minus 50% range. The, I mean, my task forces are going to be limited to this, to the range of my destroyers. So let's take a quick look at that. So my current destroyer range, the 1936 destroyer, is 2340. The default unchanged cruiser range is 4,000. So they would be 2,000 if I chose that other design company. Not great. Because I don't want my cruisers to cost more. My destroyers already cost a little more with this. I'd like the Pacific Fleet Designer, but I think I might just need to leave them here and have my it's okay. If my cruisers aren't very good at sub-detection, that's actually okay with me. Which then raises the question, where do I want to put my effort? I think I want to put it into a naval research or a naval theorist. This thing we're working on right now, I think I do want a naval theorist, because we've got a lot of naval doctrine to get down. And this will also give us a little naval experience, which will help us get down that naval doctrine. All right, let's see. Charlie Force is once most of these destroyers, once these destroyers get from green to whatever level 2 is, we'll probably call it, and stop them from training. A lot of them are actually getting up to a good number. So once all these tick over and all the bars are at the lower level, we'll be in good shape. So we're just going to go straight with cruisers as well. And then when we need to research the new level of destroyers, that's when we'll flip over to the escort fleet designer, so the destroyers have the nice high max range. And they don't have the penalty to sub-detection. God, that's not a good idea. So let's go ahead and build ourselves a carrier variant with the new carrier hull. Now, what makes them better than the old carrier hull? Their deck size is 60, just like the other one. Is it just, are they faster? Here's the 1936 carrier hull. Let's go ahead and hit outdated. So this is 1940 carrier hull. Base stats, 43 miles an hour. 1936 carrier hull. Also 43 miles an hour. Max range of 3,000. The max range doesn't matter if I have to keep destroyers with the fleet. That's what I never understood. There's no point in giving me a max range. Well, it's averaged, actually, so I guess max range does matter, because destroyers get de facto more range if they're traveling with ships that have a bigger, better fleet. Okay, so what else is different about this? So max range 3,000, organization 40, HP 250. Okay, so the HP went up to 325. 60.3 and 65. 60.3. We don't see the deck size. Fuel usage. So what's the only major difference here? Surface detection might have gone up. Is that it? Nope. 30-20-05. 30-20-05. This is a problem in vanilla, too. I don't... Like, the difference between 1940 and 1936 carrier hulls is indistinguishable. The only thing you get is a faster engine. And it looks like a little bit more HP. And maybe the HP matters. Oh, you get a little more reliability, too. Okay, okay. So, yeah. So we'll make, you know... Ooh, actually... Do we have the dual-purpose guns available soon? We want to research those before we start any production. Dual-purpose secondaries is fantastic. And we're going to need it since we are kind of ignoring aircraft as a main function in combat. Our aircraft carriers, I should say, are a air superiority mechanism. But our battleships are going to be the thing that sinks the enemy ships. That's our goal. All right, there we go. Oh, that's right. We were going to keep going until this ticked over. Across the board, and then we'll turn that off. Aha, there we go. We got that doctrine. So, carrier warfare experiments. Oh, that's too bad. We just missed that opportunity. I did want marine and transports. Oh, adds a bunch of coastal forts in Japan itself. Hello, Benas Pinellis. Oh. Special Forces capacity multiplier plus 2%. That's nice. All right. There we go. They all basically ticked over at the same time. That was satisfying, actually. How are these guys doing? They have also all ticked over almost at the same time. Let's let this guy tick over, and then we'll be done. There we go. And now we'll just recover some of that fuel. These guys are now experienced rookies. So did that give us back all the equipment that we expected? Yeah, it might have. Hard to tell. I was hoping to see it, but anyway. Do we dare? I think we do. What else do we need to consider? 1940 research speed. Yes, actually, we're behind on that a little bit. Oh, and we're ahead on rubber resources for some reason, but behind on steel. We have 29. Oh, okay, those are consumer goods. I see. We're importing 140. So... I think material research increases all our research speed, and our weapons and equipment research speed goes up a little bit. We should have got these a lot sooner. We're missing a bunch of research bonuses. Oh, Norway and Denmark. And Denmark joined the Allies. So, Operation Wesubung has fired. Now, let's see, where are these guys at with their training? Let's let them tick over to level 3 experience, because this is our most important, highest value force. I like that their mechanized force looks like a truck with, like, a canvas back. This starts to look like a mechanized force. This is just a truck with a canvas back. Hello, old dude. How are you doing? So we've got a ceasefire with China right now, but we're planning to attack them maybe in the next month or so. Oh, infantry equipment is really catching up here. Okay, so we did get a huge chunk back from that quantity versus quality option. This is the mod Hearts of Oak, by the way. I want this to research dual-purpose secondaries, so that all new designs will utilize that. I also apparently need all the improved heavy batteries and everything else before I can really start production. I would also like better submarine hulls. Like, there's a lot of stuff I would like. I'm now running into research problems. Ooh, what about decisions for resources? Do we have any more good resources? Not yet. These are all going to require control of specific areas we don't have control of yet. Oh well. We got the ones we could. Decreased factory shifts. Production efficiency growth is down, but consumer goods is down too. That gives us that gives us quite a few extra civilian factories. We'll take that for temporary bonus. There's the winter war done. Sweden's just shoveling out huge amounts of steel to us. Oh, these guys are all done. Okay. Alright, well, I certainly feel better now that I've got those extra 6 divisions that I've gotten since the last time we were at war with China. And we've got more training now. The Mountaineers I'm going to put on a lower priority, so they don't need the equipment as we don't need them just yet. I'm glad that they're training, I'm glad that they're there. And you know what? The extra Marines are also... I want these infantry divisions out sooner. Rather than later. So let's start forming our plan. We determined not to do a naval invasion just because the only ports that are actually useful are actually owned by the Allies. Specifically, Hong Kong is at least a 6. So if we can't do that... Warrior Spirit is probably good to have before we go to war again, because it gives our organization a buff by 10% of all of our divisions. I think we're going to bring the Island Defense Army back to hold this southern border while we punch to try to do a massive encirclement in the north. So what we're going to do is take the Manchurian defense have pretty much all of those guys, which aren't great, get added into here. And we're going to give these guys a new task. And that task is simply going to be hold this border. Probably right about to here. Worst case scenario, they fall back to this river and hopefully hold that. Then, what do we plan for everything else? Well, our mechanized troops need to be first and foremost right there. We want them to punch all the way up to here. Oh. It's got to be actually here. And we need... Yeah, the 2nd Infantry Division has actually seen a lot more action than the 1st. So I think they're going to be holding the line here. So the idea is, as the mechanized force pushes north, the Infantry Division expands to hold that line behind them. So we put 24 divisions all here, helping to push that. Now, I think we've got enough supply here. The port is actually still the bottleneck. Do we maybe want to bump that up 2 more times just to make sure that none of this ever goes really wrong? The infrastructure problems have been fixed, is what we're trying to say here. I want our Marines present here as well, because I need them to help push across this river. We can't get stalled there or things go very, very badly. So meanwhile, we need something else to hold this pocket, and I think it's going to be these 18. Yeah, I know it looks messy, but it is what it is. Then the 24 are going to stretch really long here. And the 22 are going to do this. Alright. So we're given the 24 the task of holding this bulge and not collapsing. That's the 1st Infantry Division. That's their goal. We're also going to give them a plan to collapse it once we actually take it. The 1st Light Infantry gets a plan to help collapse this as well. And then in the south, these guys, their job is just to hold, but if they have to attack, we want them to have a plan. And these guys definitely aren't going to be attacking, but we're going to give them a plan as well. There we go. We'll also be able to give them a few more divisions as they come off the line here. We'll get at least 1 more division to this, so the 14 divisions will be defending that southern border. I honestly don't think they'll have that much trouble holding it. Even though they're all... many of them are crappy divisions. We've got some good ones in there. Like, this is the crappy division. Like, 39 offensive power, 80 defense, not great. These guys, 167, 247. That's good. Alright, so we now know we need to go in here and research our heavy and medium batteries as fast as possible, so that we can actually design some more heavy and light cruisers for the new age, because the Yamato ships, they're coming out soon, and they're going to need escorts, and we want them to be 1940 hulls laid down now. We could get a naval theorist. That's what we wanted to get, right? Yeah, let's take it. That'll speed up our naval doctrine research, which we're going to need to press on into pretty soon. Now, here's the last piece of this puzzle. What about air support? We're going to need air support in the forward capacity. Let's at least try to get 800 here. We have 3 in Beijing. We have 6 in the north, which is actually quite good. We're not going to be able to get much more. Unfortunately, that's it. It's going to be a long-distance thing. The tactical bombers are going to be very useful, but the fighters are just going to be out of range. We got the agility focus recently, so I want to get the Mitsubishi... We already have the Mitsubishi Light Aircraft Designer. Oh! That's right. When you get agility focus, it just changes the design directly to the Mitsubishi. So we're ready to research 1940 fighters, which we need to do ASAP. So that's next in the docket here. So 18 days from now, we'll start doing that. Actually, 3 days. Uh-oh. I don't like that sound. Wow. Supplies here are a pretty massive problem. Why are the supplies in Dalian the issue? Ports in Dalian only provide 37. Oh, control of incoming edge provinces is the biggest one. It's 70% of the normal. Ugh. I guess we just try to increase the infrastructure. Yeah. Yeah, we're going to have to launch this really soon. Once they get into another supply area, then all of the light blue, the 2nd Infantry Division is no longer going to be applying. But, oof, this is going to be tough. This is going to be real tough. And that having been said, we can't afford to put any air divisions down there, so we can't even make this. We might have too many down there. But I think we're going to need that many in the long term. So, it is what it is. We've got to launch it. We've got to launch it as soon as everybody's in position. Which means after Warrior Spirit... Okay. These guys are the heaviest ones. Let's pull them out. Give them a task of being over here. And, you know... Because we actually are going to have another 30 days, at least. Just to make sure they don't take huge attrition while they're sitting here waiting. They'll take some attrition, but not huge attrition. If we pull them out. Alright, so here's this one. And we wanted this research to be the fighters. Yeah, this is a bold move, and it's going to be really hard on our supply lines, but I think it's worth it. I think it... Look, there's 60 divisions we could capture here, if we do it right. How's our cryptography on China? Oh, the United States changed their code, so now... Oh, China's 404 days away. Damn. They keep increasing their cryptography. Plus 25 might help us speed it up, but I don't know. It would have been nice to have that code broken for this particular moment. I don't think we're going to get fighters over here, so we're just going to have to assume it's all tactical bombers helping out. Tactical bombers from here are going to assist in the battle over here. Actually, we'll probably keep some of them down here. Just to assist with that. Yeah, that's a good-looking number. Now, what else do we have available? Should we wish? Basically, we have no naval bombers. We have 400 stationed over here, I think, and we have 600 fighters over here. We haven't ever used. Huh. Well, that's good. I thought we were a lot shorter on fighters. We have very little CAS. We're building it up now. Okay. Do we want to bring any of these groups out to get some experience? Seems like a good plan. 96, that's a disaster right there. Resistance strength being 19% certainly hurts us as well. Compliance is at 14. Alright, it's much weaker now than it was a minute ago. So once these guys have built their planning up, and technically they're planning on a different front. Land night attack, organization and division. I think I want to keep going down this track to help against China. And eventually the CBI theater down here too. So here's what I'm watching. Once Warrior Spirit is done, I'm going to reignite the war in China. That's going to take 35 days. Trade relations. Oh, the fate of Sweden. Sweden is trying to maintain its policy of neutrality since the fate of Sweden is unclear. It is to use a combination of its geopolitical location in the Scandinavian peninsula, successful realpolitik maneuvering during an unpredictable course of events, and due to the fact that at the beginning of the war the agreements have been signed between Sweden, the United Kingdom, and Nazi Germany in order to sustain vital trade. But in spite of this, the fact that Sweden has declared itself a neutral country, Swedish shipping began to be attacked. Britain was cut by a total of 70%. Within the North Sea blockade, trade with Germany has thus increased. Ugh. So we're losing all our trade with Sweden. That's annoying. I guess we'll trade with the Soviet Union, if only so... Well, let's trade with France until they fall. That's too bad. Oh, we got mechanized equipment we can build. Now, we're not going to be able to swap it out real fast. But that'll at least get us started. Yeah, I know there's no template for mechanized equipment 1. Alright, so these guys are down here. They're building up their planning bonus. Just before we go to war, I'm going to ship them off over here. And then they're going to attack up, and it'll hopefully work in our favor. We might have this first army, actually. I don't want it to completely close the circle, but it would be nice if they could at least push to here, because it'll open more incoming edge provinces down here. And I think they should be able to. They don't think so, but I think so. Yeah, I know there's battle plans with no units signed. Calm down. Alright, let's speed this up a little bit. Warrior Spirit needs to complete... Oh, Warrior Spirit takes a long time. Damn it. I'm going to miss my timeline. But I don't want to cancel this halfway through. Now, where's the situation with my... Okay, we've got a 71% network up here. That's real good. And what could we do to them? Infiltrate civilian, capture Cipher, infiltrate army. I wish I knew what the hell these did. But I don't think it's worth infiltrating their army. I could infiltrate the Chinese army. So steal industrial blueprints. I think this just gives you a small boost to an industrial technology. Like 10% or 25% or something. But the fact they cost huge amounts of operatives, like you need to use all of my operatives to steal industrial blueprints, that's kind of useless in the end. I'd like to infiltrate the army of China. That would be nice, but I need 2 people to do it. What am I doing? I've got the US on here, too. I'm trying to increase my influence on them. Ah, dual-purpose secondaries is completed. Speed it up to speed 4. The United States is probably getting through their... The 1940 Naval Act is where they're at. Adhere to Mahan. So where is it? Denounce Japanese war crimes. So they provided China with fiscal support, reducing their consumer goods for a year. Who knows how long ago that was, but it's probably done. Oh, China got 4 off-map military factories from the United States. That's interesting. And Sun Mei Ling as a political advisor in Japan, in the U.S. Can I see their political advisors? Not really? So anyway, back to this. Procure equipment for China, provide China with fiscal support. It says requires one of the following, but they're both blocked out. I think it's because it's already done. So if they do this one, they gain some support, and then this is what they could do to us. So if I manage to take China before they get to this particular place, then China becomes a government in exile. But if they start helping the Chinese Air Force, then China gets a bunch of bonuses. Oof. And then they get a bunch of free equipment. Then they could fund the Chinese resistance, which increases resistance targets. Ugh. And then this is where procure defeat of Japan. They'll get a 10% defense and attack bonus against us. Oh, here we are. If China has capitulated, that's when they embargo Japan? They can't embargo Japan until after they capitulate. They never capitulated in real life. But the embargo came after the rape of Nanking, I think? Huh. The thing is, unless this also stops trade with Venezuela, it doesn't bother me much. Japan, oh, Japan gets the national spirit embargoed by the U.S., which grants stability, resources to market +5, and fuel gain per oil -20. That does hurt me. This fortifies their holdings, strengthening garrisons, appoint MacArthur, bases in Australia, supply chain checks, But is there something that triggers war with Japan? Maybe it's an event. Or maybe there's something over here. Oh, if they get a bonus for naval doctrine, a bonus for land doctrine. Black chamber operation. None of these. Oh, okay. So here's European intervention. But that doesn't get us closer to war with Japan. The Neutrality Act goes all the way to short of war. Lend-Lease. I don't see anything that causes them to go to war with us, do you? But I assume it's built into this somehow. Fight the fascists with fire. I'm guessing it's going to be an event. Because this whole tree seems to assume that there's ways for them to get to war with us. Anyway. Back to life, back to reality. Belgium's gone. Let's take a look at Europe. Oop, France is falling. I'm going to lose my trade with them soon. Which is just as well. Oh, we need more rubber from Siam. Oh, damn it. American counterintelligence, you bastards. Now I have to go do a stupid thing. Rescue captured operative. Sure. Who should do it? I don't know. Linguist, I guess. Hey! We're almost in the green across the board. We're only down by negative 3,000 infantry equipment. So I'm going to go ahead and... Ooh, Italy declared war on France. I could prioritize reinforcements to make sure my units stay equipped in the field, even if it means these guys don't pop out. But I think I'm not going to do that. Because I would like more divisions. Even if our parent crappy logistics doesn't seem to care. Alright, I'm not going to do any more of those for the moment. Let everything pump on civilian, or rather, naval dockyards and military factories. And we're getting some more infrastructure down here, which will increase the amount of steel available and also hopefully help the supply throughput a little bit. Alright, so Warrior Spirit, going to be done soon. These are the hot months anyway. We don't want to fight in the hot months. No. No. Reignite war with China's here. It's on the list. Hey, we almost have extra naval dockyards. For the first time in a long time, we almost have extra naval dockyards. Speaking of which, what's our inter-service rivalry options here? Prioritize naval aircraft construction. So this gives close air support and tactical bombers a reduction in cost. This gives carrier fighters, CAS, and both kinds of naval bombers a reduction in cost. I think that's the one we want to take. So our inter-service rivalry is now pretty heavily biased in favor of the Navy. Which means our factory output is a little down, our planning speed is a little down, and military factories are constructed slower. It's right where we want to be right now. We need to be preparing for war with not China. Alright, there's a cruiser hull. We could also get a submarine hull, or let's do this one. Get all of that done real fast. But now that the cruiser hulls are done, if I get 150, I'm switching this over to escort so I can get destroyers 1940 style. There it is! Free naval dockyards! My god! Okay. Do we have secondary... Yes, we've got secondaries now, so we can get an aircraft carrier started. Duplicate. Historical carriers. I don't know what the latter designs were. Does anybody know? Junyo? I think Shikaku was one of the ones that actually attacked Pearl Harbor. Let's go Aso. And this includes all of the airplanes. It then includes dual-purpose secondaries, which are just flat better than regular secondaries. Except they cost more, right? And they slow your max speed a little bit more, but that's fine. Carrier Engine 3. We don't necessarily need that much speed. The carriers are escorting the battleships. We can save ourselves a little bit of production cost by using Engine 2s. We want them to have radar. We want them to have anti-air guns 3. That's a pretty good design. Yeah, that's command power, which is mostly used to mess with your generals and your admirals and stuff. Speaking of which, before we reignite the war, we should make sure our generals have all the traits that they can get. Oh! They can have 80 deck size. That's what I was missing. There was an extra slot up here for an additional deck size on the 1940 carriers. Now it all makes sense. All right. And that's good. Yep, we're going to save that and start production on one. Ideally, we want production on 2 of them. And we want the distribution to be 60-20 on both. And we don't want them to be done infinitely, but let's do them twice. Well, there's some more steel required. France, keep shipping it to us. We'll keep giving you civilian goods. All right, so Warrior Spirit, almost done. And we're looking at our situation. Okay, so the main army general did not gain anything and enough experience. Remember, we had that Quang veto on our generals for a while. However, it looks like the first army general did get something. He was an infantry leader. Now he can be an infantry expert. But in doing so, his army max size goes down by 3. Or he can be an ambusher. Entrenchment speed. That would be good for something else, but not for this guy. Yeah, if we decide to give him the good traits, he loses the ability to command the extra 3 divisions. And you know, that's not awful. An extra 15% attack is a big bonus. Yeah, let's do that. Then we'll take 1, 2, 3. Let's do slightly less decorated versions. Give them to this general, who doesn't have any restrictions at the moment. And then he doesn't have any ability to gain anything either. This general does have a trait he can get. Same thing, huh? Oof. I don't think I want that with my light infantry, though. I think I want them to have the max. That's a tough call. Yeah, I don't want either of these. There's nothing you can give your general on these once you get to here that doesn't lower their overall capability. They become a specialist, essentially. So hopefully the terrain traits are what we're going to save to put on these guys. All right, what about these guys? Did he get a terrain trait by any chance? No, he didn't get any. He just got infantry expert. It would be nice if this guy could have infantry expert too, because he's 21. We technically now... 1, 2, 3. That'll give us some equipment back. Alright, and before we go, I want to bring both of these guys into... maybe not quite, because I still have a supply problem here. Alright, finally finished Warrior Spirit. More division organizations. More insufficient. Oh, they're not able to give it to us anymore. Okay, well let's just go ahead and cancel all those. We got to get the steel from somebody. Let's get it from Germany as long as we're capable. Warrior Spirit finally done. Okay, reignite war with China. 35 days. So it's probably going to take a couple of weeks for these guys to get over here. So when there's about 15 days left, I'm going to reassign my mechanized forces back to this salient. Oh, did these guys not have a plan? They should have a plan. There, at least now they're different arrows. So I can see them and click on them properly. So everybody else has got planning, planning, planning. These guys don't have a plan. Oh, I should give them a plan. Just in case they have to attack. Italian East Africa capitulated. Oh, the United Kingdom got it. Okay, got it. For some reason, I thought that was Ethiopia capitulating to Africa. Or to Italy. Alright, so things are heating up. Let's get 1940. Well, we don't need that, do we? Let's look at industry bonuses. Fuel increases. Oh, you know what? I've got a big problem. I have no longer need to train these guys. Stop training. Build that fuel reserve up. I should have done that a month ago. Let's import a little bit more fuel from Venezuela to compensate. Maybe 2 factories worth. Alright, new aircraft type and new aircraft carrier type. So, we've got fighters, and we can also give them... Yeah, better max speed, better air attack, better range. Good deal. Oh, that cost way too much. Let's give them 1 of each. Can we do 1 of each? Yeah, we can. 150. Bingo. Oh, I didn't actually click it, though. We need fighter. This one's obsolete, because we made this one better. We have no factories for these. Carrier naval bomber. Oh, yeah, that's exactly what we want. Yeah, we have no factories. That's really annoying. We're building them. We got 15 more on the docket. Jiangsu has actually got so much resistance, they're damaging... No. How come Jiangsu has a damaged factory? Has it really never been repaired? Huh. Alright. We are at 11 of 35 days. I'm going to wait one more day to 13. And then reassign these guys to their new task. Ready, go. Also, I'm ordering you to ignore the supply problem. Yeah, I know there's a big supply issue. I know. Don't I know it? 93 of 61. Yikes. Kyushu is now the bottleneck. Let's build one more port in Kyushu then. As best we can, it'll help alleviate it a tiny bit. Ooh, we can add a Chief of Navy. Commerce, convoy raiding efficiency, naval aviation, or decisive battle. That's what I want. Better than nothing. Alright. And we've got the air units already separated out to attack and defend specific areas. Good. We're still real short on these tactical bombers, huh? We're only kicking out one a week. That's actually not bad. Considering. Alright, here it is. 17 days of 35. These guys are going to get into position in time, and they're going to rebuild their planning. It goes away way faster in this mod, the planning does. While they're here, they're taking, you know, 0.5% of attrition because of this situation. It'll probably get higher if they were to fight. But as soon as they start pouring into here, they'll be in a completely separated supply zone. I think we're going to need to spend a lot of our points, a lot of our time on construction to repair the infrastructure as we go, in order to keep pushing far without getting too much attrition. Alright. Those guys are in position. They're rebuilding their planning, for what it's worth. And they can do it over 10 days, so they should be able to build it all the way up. We're still short on steel. Every time we get a new factory, we spend a bunch more on steel. And our infantry equipment has finally almost caught up to neutral. Huzzah. What is it going to cost for us to flip? I haven't checked this yet. Oh, we got a motorized division. Woo! Not going to use this one, because I've already got a nicely designed Mechanized division, which actually needs to convert over to Mechanized now. But what is it going to cost? We need 330 to convert one of these over to Mechanized. But when we do, there's a lot of good stats there. Let's see the actual differences. If we click this and hover over this. Breakthrough and defense go up. Soft attack goes up by 5. That's pretty good. Fuel capacity goes up. Armor goes up by 0.2. Hardness? Does hardness go up? Does it say that? I have to imagine it would. Yeah, hardness goes up a little bit, but not even enough to matter. But if all of them had mechanized, then the hardness would go up. But minus 43 transport vehicles, so we'd get a lot of transport vehicles back. Which means, since we have a lot of transport vehicles in reserve, going to continue to slide factories over from infantry trucks to mechanized. But at 1.6 per day, we're not going to have enough mechanized to do that. Not yet. Ooh, we can recruit somebody new. A seducer. Tough and a seducer, sure. Now, didn't we launch an operation to save our guy? Oh, it's in progress. Okay. Meanwhile, this is going well. How's our cryptology department working on China? 213 days. Ugh. I hope we're not still at war in 213 days. $73 days on fuel income. We're getting 4,000 a day. And we're spending a little bit on army. Because I guess some guys are moving somewhere. Oh, these guys are training, that's why. Alright, here it comes. Tonight's the night. And we only have tonight. Hashtag unexpected Mulaney. Alright. So, these guys don't think it's a good plan. Which is interesting. Because they think there's a large river crossing. But it's okay, because we got the Marines to help you out. There you go. And these guys are going to help create a little bit more supply by pushing out to there. But I don't think we want anybody else to go. Oh, also, we need to delete this and this because they don't need to be there. It's just messy. Now, I don't know where Heilong Kiang is. H-E-I Lung? Oh. Interesting. So, if we annex Manchuria, we can get some oil up there. And then we can go to war with the Soviet Union. Secure China. If they're at more than 30% surrender progress, and we're at war with the United States, we can remove the Marco Polo Bridge incident. But, and unlocks the decision Ichigo. And then develop Chinese resource. This will probably bypass if we already have. Oh, one of the following must be true. Does not have Marco Polo Bridge incident. We still have Marco Polo Bridge incident, though. So, let's get rid of it. Prepare to win a total victory. And that now, we're not at war with the U.S., so we can't use Secure China for some reason. Hello, Greg. You might need to watch hundreds of hours of YouTube to get yourself up to speed, or you could watch my beginner's guide on my channel in order to get yourself up to speed. That's, I think, 7 to 10 minute videos that'll help a little bit, and then it's followed by a like 2 or 3 hour long playthrough as the United States, where I explain everything that I'm doing and why I'm doing it as I go, trying to help everybody understand the systems. I'm not sure a multiplayer. I mean, you could do a multiplayer game with somebody that's teaching you, but I'm not sure that's the best way to do it. The good news here is, as with all Paradox games, Greg, if you want to learn this game, watching some YouTube videos to sort of get you started can help. You don't have to watch a lot, but a good beginner's guide, like the one that I made, or I think Quill has one that he might have put together. Then start playing. If you get confused by a system, like, oh, what my guys have? I have this thing. What is this spirit? Prioritize naval aircraft construction. What's that? Just do a Google search for Hoi 4 and then the name of the thing you're confused about and search for and just maybe add the word wiki at the end. There's a very well created Hoi 4 wiki hosted on the Paradox site that is well maintained, generally speaking, and almost about 98% of the time, if you find something you're confused by and you put the name of the thing, Hoi 4 and wiki into Google, it'll take you straight to a page that will explain what the thing is and how you can get rid of it or how you can take advantage of it, etc. So the wiki is my biggest suggestion. Play. Hey, I'm confused. What the heck is this thing? Go to the wiki. Oh, that's how construction works. Okay, civilian factories do this and military factories do that. Go back to playing. Oh, I'm confused by this fuel thing. Okay, go to the wiki, search for fuel, read a couple of paragraphs, then go back to playing. You don't have to sit there and study the thing like it's a tome, but it's the place to get answers that are not answered by the tooltips as you're hovering over them. So hopefully that'll help a lot. But if you have any questions while I'm going, I'll be happy to try to answer them for you. I am using a mod called Hearts of Oak, so this is going to be fairly different in a number of different ways from the baseline game. The base game is still pretty damn good, but if you get tired of the base game, there are a lot of good mods out there as well. So yeah, let me know if you have any questions while we're going through here. So we've begun our offensive, and man, they are not prepared. They have one division here to stop us, and that is not going to be enough. So we are going to be looking at our logistics, hoping that this 93 number goes way down. Here's the weird thing about how the logistics system works, right? And I've always thought it was awful. It's awful. I assume they did it this way because it's just too much programming power required. Like you would need an i7 or an i9, like the blazingest fastest one, in order to run it properly if you properly did a logistics simulation. But here's how it works, right? Your capital produces all of your supplies, essentially. And the capital province produces its supplies based on the infrastructure level of that province. So if you're Germany, for example, and I think we can look at the infrastructure levels here, right? Yeah, there's the infrastructure levels. If you're Germany and you want to make sure that you have the most possible supply output, you make sure you increase your supplies in the capital province supply zone. We're looking at the supply map mode right now. There are some DLCs worth getting, and that's a question for a lot of things. I would stick with the base game until you feel comfortable with it, and then start looking into the DLCs, because the DLCs add a number of different systems. I would say Death Before Dishonor is the first DLC. It's probably the cheapest. If you were going to get one, that one also has the least new, like, different things. What it did was it gave the Axis minor powers in Europe, like Hungary, Romania, and I think Czechoslovakia and Austria also got their own focus trees, so that playing them is slightly more interesting, or even playing against them is slightly more interesting. But the thing that it did add is when you're making battle plans, it added the ability to do a Spearhead battle plan, which the fact that that's not available in vanilla is a travesty, in my opinion. But anyway, coming back to this rant about the logistics system. So your capital produces all of your supplies. You can see here 19 of 198. So this is where the supplies come from. If you hover over anything else, you can see the supplies go from my capital, and they go to this area here, and then they go by boat over to this port here, and then they come up and they go into Korea. Okay, that's easy enough to follow. If you hover over them, it tells you what's the bottleneck, because the infrastructure between your capital and the place you're hovering over can act as a bottleneck for supplies. Great, that actually sounds fairly realistic. And in situations like I'm experiencing here, if we hover over this, it says, okay, I only have the ability to provide 61 supply here, but I need 93 to keep all my guys in supply. Okay, that's a problem. That's why we're experiencing attrition. Here's the big fail with this supply system. I'm going to have a bunch of divisions drive north to try to cut off a huge chunk of Chinese forces here. The instant that these guys set foot in another supply zone, they stop causing a bottleneck in the previous zone. this 93 will drop down to, I don't know, 70 or whatever, 60. Even though the supplies still have to go through this zone to get to them, they only require supplies in their final destination. None of the supplies that I'm pulling to this actually matter over here. Look, this says 15. How can this have 15 if 98 supplies are passing through this logistical network? How is it possible that this logistical network, the trains, the trucks that are bringing fuel and food and weapons and equipment and supplies and ammunition, is only stressed at level 15 when this is at 93 and the 93 is coming through the 15? Oh, it drives me crazy. There's no... They call it a bottleneck system, but in a real bottleneck system, if this area didn't have enough infrastructure, that would be the bottleneck. But in the way the game works, as long as there's no units in this area, who cares? The infrastructure's not important. So that's what drives me crazy about this system. I wish that it worked where if I'm pulling supplies through an area, it stacks with all the people that are in the area. Anyway, it's simplified, I get it, but in the end, it doesn't feel realistic, and it feels more like I'm just dealing with a headache and a frustration that I have to, that annoys me every once in a while I'm playing the game, instead of trying to thematically feel like, oh man, I gotta make sure that I've got enough logistical setups over here. Anyway, let's keep going. So we're massively punching a hole. Oh, I should actually activate my air forces. Oh, they are activated. Okay, they're already there. My navy should probably go back to doing its convoy raiding just in case. They might get lucky if the Chinese are actually importing anything. So we're going to watch... Oh, Communist China is now involved. Oh, we bypassed the Secure China focus. Because we're at war with China, but not the United States, I guess. Okay, whatever. Again, that's part of this mod. It's a little bit different from vanilla. So the question is, develop Chinese resources. I need Sichuan and Yunnan. So which of the states... Yunnan is in the south, right? Sichuan is here. And Yunnan is down here. Wow. I need control of those in order to develop... There's some resources here. I guess that... So there's a lot of resources in Sichuan, and I guess control of Yunnan means I have control of the big bulk of resources down here. That's my guess, is what that is referencing. Oh no, okay, there's infrastructure in those areas. There's, I guess, aluminum in those regions. That's what that is. So it's adding to those specific regions. And I still am aiming to get the 199 military factories required in order to have the second modernization, which massively reduces the production cost for all of these equipment things. What am I at now for factories? I'm at 137, not even close to 199. Even if I captured more of China, it wouldn't be close. All right, anyway. Oh, this is a problem. I'm stretched so thin in the north, they're actually succeeding. Huh. And I have no real reserves. Well, here's what I can do. I can send these guys immediately. I didn't click them right. So we can send 2 more divisions. That will help a little bit. We don't have any tactical bombers here. Maybe that's what we need to do. We need tactical bombers that are currently fighting in Shanxi to help with this battle here. That might be enough to turn the tide, but they are fighting an uphill battle. Lots of divisions are attacking there. Yeah, I wish I had a strategic reserve. I mean, maybe the Marines can come back and help there, but I need them to get across this river first. So they got us across the first river. Now we need them to get across this river. And we need to make them on super aggressive, and we need to make these guys... They're already on super aggressive. They're always going to be on super aggressive. Alright, so we've won both of those battles. As soon as the Marines are done here, we're going to pull them out and bring them back, because if this avenue collapses for our supplies, we're in big trouble. We do not have enough naval bases on this coastline to really sustain it, and we don't want to lose the factories involved in Beijing. It looks like only one battle is being lost, and they're sending reinforcements to save it. Okay. So that should stabilize, especially if they get 2 more divisions from the training division, or the training army. Okay, so here, look. We're passing a big chunk of our forces into this area. Where's our light? Why do you have this? I want you to go. Why aren't you going? We're going to expand this a little bit manually. Okay, so naval stuff. Mostly complete. What can we get? Maybe something here. Increasing our industrial output would be very valuable right about now. We're running out of steel again. Alright, send me some more steel, Germany. We've still got some decent civilian factories. We're going to run out of dockyards to produce here real soon. Alright, so here you go. We're down to 71, even though the people in this area are still pulling through here. It's garbage time. But anyway. Shouldn't we also go to here? Shouldn't somebody go to there? There we go. Alright, we might not need the Marines to get over this. Honestly. Yeah, we're not going to need them. Okay, so that's good news. So the Marines are actually going to cancel all their orders. And we're going to use them as our strategic reserve, probably up here. This is a pro tip, by the way, and I think in one of my videos. I also have a hints, tips, and tricks series that I put together when the game came out. In addition to that beginner's guide, and I think it might be at the end of that beginner's guide playlist. If you want to move units, but you don't want to give them individual orders, like if I want to move these guys to Japan, first you'd have to give them an order to a port, then you'd have to give them an order to the thing, and if they get attacked in the middle of it, they'll just stop the order. What you do is you give them a fallback line command, and then no matter what happens, they'll eventually try to get there, and they'll take, theoretically, the best path. So I use fallback lines to move my troops around a lot. Ah. Oh, I actually don't have an order for these guys. We need to make sure theirs is real tiny. Like, it's a spearhead. Now that you guys are here, your next goal is cut to here. And we want you to do it on this kind of a way, so we can cut as many off as possible. We'll also take the Communist Chinese capital, which may cause them to collapse, because I don't think they have a lot of points anywhere else. That's real close to us, actually. I didn't notice how close that was. All right. So these guys are moving into position. And I want them to go right now, actually. They got to cross the river. That's the important part. Rivers can have a massive penalty. Alright, so look, our supplies have basically stabilized, and all we've done is move into another supply zone. I hate it. I hate it so much. And I'm having the 2nd Light Infantry Division, or Army, try to expand this salient so that it doesn't get collapsed upon. There's nothing, they don't have any reinforcements, they can't get him up here yet. We're already moving. In fact, now I know exactly what I want my Marines to do. I figured it out. I want my Marines here, and I want them to punch to there. Why wait to cut these guys off? Just do it sooner. Put more pressure on them. No, it's not worth another factory just to get 1 rubber, but we're going to need more steel regardless, I'm sure. Have we taken another area? We have. We took this area, which had a civilian and a military factory. That's probably the military factory that's costing us the extra steel. Now, here's the thing. This area, I can't allow this area's infrastructure to slow us down, so I've got to repair that as we go. Hey, look at that. I'm becoming popular enough for people to come spam my Twitch channel so that I can ban them. Alright. Now, as I go, I've got to limit the scope of the Mechanized division because our 2nd Light Infantry Army is going to be holding these forts. The places. Open. To prevent the light infantry or the mechanized division from running out of supply as they continue to push forward. Meanwhile, this 1st light infantry division is just waiting for the plan. So let's see. Communist China just lost a huge chunk of its victory points. They're going to capitulate soonish. Oh, they've got a new one over here for 3 points. So if we get to that one, holy moly. Then they're done, basically. So maybe that's what I need the Marines to do. I've got a new plan for you. Your goal is simply get here. And then you can get down here if you want. From there. You hit tab, by the way, to switch which front you want a unit to be attaching to. Alright, so the 10... Mechanized forces are still advancing. No enemy to oppose them just yet. We're making progress. What am I doing? This is interesting. That's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to grab this and limit its scope. No. This. There we go. We actually need to make this a little bit wider. Oof, terrain is terrible. 60%. But it's even for our infantry divisions, that's a big problem. The Mechanized are almost home free, though. There's nobody else to stop them. They're going to keep driving north. I want at least a 2 width the entire way. How are our Marines getting along? They haven't gotten in position yet, but they're almost there. Quick note, sorry, we had another blue screen crash. I really have no idea what's going on. IRQL error. That's fun. It's only been happening since I've reformatted the hard drive and, well, got a new hard drive and reinstalled Windows. Anyway, we will be ending for the day anyway. We're going to have to pick up from an autosave for tomorrow. And, yeah, sorry about that, ladies and gents. I was very excited to see what happened in China, but I've missed lunch again. So I'm going to go take care of that, and we'll pick it up tomorrow from that autosave. And, yeah, we'll see you then. Have a good one.